Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video that is out of the ordinary from what I normally do. I typically post about makeup and beauty and fashion and any of the topics that I typically blog about. However, today I wanted to mix in a little bit of my personal life, which I don't normally do because I tend to like to keep my personal life and my blogging stuff separate, just that's my preference. But I figured that this is a video that may help people and I am all for helping people. So that is why I wanted to do this. So if you don't know me personally, which I'm sure many of you don't, I work my day job as a producer for a broadcast TV news station. So what I do is my title is a social strategy producer. So I produce a lot of digital content. I have written articles for the station's website. I help maintain a social media strategy. I help come up with ideas for social media. I, help maintain a social media schedule. So that is scheduling posts, publishing posts, all that stuff. I basically, create content, whether that be videos or graphics or anything like that for our digital platforms. I have done a lot over the 4 years that I've been working in the news industry. I have worked 2 elections. I have created 2 on-air television commercials. I have created lots of social media content, like honestly countless. I create a lot of graphics on a daily basis, as well as social videos and all kinds of stuff. There really isn't one set way to explain my job because we all just do so many things, and working in news, every day is different. As we all know, we never really know what to expect the next day, especially in this year. So it really is just a big adventure. So anyway, what I wanted to do today was just share a few tips and things that I did to help me get my job and get my foot in the door of the industry, and basically what I did to be where I am today. I have people ask me a lot, how did I get this job, or what can they do to get a job in this kind of industry? And I think what I did and these tips that I have don't just apply to television news, but I think that it applies to any kind of job or career in a creative industry. So without further ado, I'm going to share these tips with you. So the first tip that I have is to take advantage of your time, whether that be your time in school, or if you are already out of school, then just taking advantage of any free time that you may have. If you're in school, get as many internships as you possibly can, partake in different school clubs and activities. For example, if you want to go into television news, try and join your school's TV club or your news station or something like that. And then when it comes to internships, I know it is difficult, especially because many internships are unpaid. However, the experience and the things that you learn from these internships far exceed, it will just, I don't know how to explain it, but it will benefit you in the long run immensely. I can probably put a big contribution towards my internship for the reason being why I got the job that I have. I learned so much during my time as an intern, and even though it wasn't at a television news station, it was in a department called Creative Services, which technically when I got hired, my job title was in the department called Creative Services. So having this internship under my belt definitely helped me to get the job that I have. If you aren't in school, or if you have already graduated school so you can't join a school club or intern because they only look for college students, maybe go to your town's newspaper, or if your town has a website or blog or something like that. Even the smallest of towns typically have what is called a patch newspaper, or just an online website that has town news. If they are looking for help, offer to help. If they aren't looking for help, maybe just ask if you could shadow a few times to learn a thing or two. You never know what you can learn, and you never know who you will meet in these different places. So that leads into my next tip, and that is to create opportunities for yourself. So many times I've heard people say that it's just impossible for them to get an internship or to get an entry-level job because the entry-level job requires experience, and you need experience to get experience, and it's kind of like a big never-ending circle. However, I don't find that as an excuse. I always think it is possible to create opportunities for yourself that can be done in many ways. If you want to be a writer, go ahead and make yourself a blog. If you want to do something visual like photography or videography, go out and shoot some content. There are so many different things that you can do to create opportunities for yourself and to give yourself the experience that you need to maybe land the entry-level job that you were looking for. My next tip is to create a reel or portfolio for yourself. The purpose of this reel or portfolio is for when you do finally land a job interview, you want to have something that you can show a potential employer. So this can come in many different forms, whether it be a video form if you are, a photographer or videographer or something visual like that, or it can be on a blog or just have a link available to show all of your writing or whatever it is kind of work that you are looking to do. Having that concrete piece of evidence that you do in fact have experience and have previous work to show for is huge, and it will get you a long way. When it comes to creating this reel or portfolio, don't be afraid to show off your creative side. If you think that maybe an idea you have sounds silly, I would say go for it, because you never know who loves that idea. Being unique is much better than being the cookie cutter, cut and dry, same kind of person or same kind of worker as everybody else. Even the smallest bit of creativity can get you a long way. Personally, I remember for me when I went in for my job interview, my resume had my name at the top, but it was in a bigger font and a different font from the rest of my resume. It was in a different color as well. And the person who interviewed me, who is now my boss, pointed out that, that caught his eye. And something as simple as that, you never know whose eye that will catch. And I'm not saying go and write your resume in Comic Sans, but there's just little things you can do here and there to get your creative side showing. Next, and this is a big one, but to promote yourself and your work. So as I mentioned earlier, create opportunities for yourself, whether that be through a blog or if you are a photographer, creating an Instagram account, anything like that. Don't be afraid to promote these opportunities that you have, given yourself. For me personally, creating my blog originally was a way to create opportunities for myself. However, it has blossomed into what it is now, and I enjoy blogging and I'm passionate about it, and that is great. You never know by creating these opportunities what you will become passionate about, and it is so important to promote your work and promote what it is that you've created for yourself. Again, you never know who will see it by promoting your stuff. You can promote it in so many different ways, through social media, through websites, through word of mouth, through family and friends. Don't be afraid to ask your family and friends to share your work if it is online. It's the least they can do, right? Next, don't forget to network. So networking is such a huge thing. Knowing people in the industry will get you very, very far. You never know who, you'll meet out at an event or, by creating different pieces of content that you promote online. You never know who will see that content and who you will get in touch with. So don't be afraid to network. If there is somebody that you admire in the field or at the company that you want to work for, don't be afraid to show them a little love on social media if they are a person of, I don't want to say a person of interest, but like a person of like a certain stature. So like if you want to work for your local news station and you admire a reporter at that news station or something like that, don't be afraid to follow them on social media and comment and put yourself out there saying great work on that piece that you did, or I love that story that you did on so and so, I thought it was awesome. Don't be afraid to do that. You're not going to want to do this to people who aren't really in the spotlight, that kind of are behind the scenes, because it's going to come off as creepy. So if there are people who are in the spotlight and who are well known that you want to try and get noticed by all means do that. But don't do that with people who aren't well known or who don't want themselves to be known like that out there, unless they reach out to you first. If they reach out to you first, please by all means promote your work. Let them know you're a fan, all that stuff, but don't be creepy. And then one thing that I really continue to do and I swear by is I try to teach myself new things all the time, and I try to be well versed in all different mediums. And by that I mean there are constantly different social media platforms evolving and coming about every day. There are different ways to market and to create content constantly. A lot of them don't, stick around or live up to the standards of what would stick around, but it doesn't hurt to learn about these things. For example, about a year or two ago when TikTok came on the scene, nobody really thought it was going to stick around. However, I wanted to learn more about it, and I figured if that was eventually going to become a big thing, you wanted to know about it. So here we are a year or two later, and TikTok has blown up during this pandemic because people have downloaded the app while at home and are constantly scrolling through it. So it is good to know about TikTok, or to know about the latest thing that people are interested in, especially the younger audience. The way you look at it is today's young audience is tomorrow's older audience. So you have to grow with the audience. So if an 18-year-old is interested in TikTok when they are a few years older and they are in your main audience demographic, you need to know what it is that they grew up on and what they find amusing or interesting, and you need to roll with that. In this kind of industry, not just television news, but in any creative industry, things are constantly evolving and changing, and you need to be ready to roll with that and be knowledgeable about the different platforms and subjects and stuff like that. So it is good to teach yourself something new every day, whether that be a Photoshop technique, a new social media platform, a different way of writing something, a different learning to use a different camera. Anything new that will expand your knowledge of a different topic is so well worth it in the end. So those are just a few topics that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm sure there are so many questions out there that of course I didn't cover in this video, because if I were to talk about everything that there is to talk about this field and how to get a job in this industry, I could probably go on forever and ever and ever, but I don't have that kind of time, and neither do you. So if there are any certain questions or things that you want to know or are curious about, please leave a comment or feel free to reach out to me on social media, on Instagram at Brie Cutter. I would be more than happy to try and help you out, because I am all for helping people achieve their goals. So I would love to help you in any way that I can. So if you liked today's video, make sure you hit the red button down below, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell next to it to be notified whenever I post. And like I said, make sure you follow me on social media at Brie Cutter. And until next time, see you guys.